So the model that I gave you in the last video said y equals k times x. That's a lot of times the variation model they'll use, but also that x could have an exponent on it. So the model they give you in the book is y equals k x to the n. Now n could be 1, and then it's a linear model, and they give you examples of that in the textbook as well. But it doesn't have to be n. It could be squared or cubed or some other exponent. So just so that you know. I just wanted to point out that this is the model, and we're going to see that in this example. So it says the quantity y varies directly, so it's direct variation, with the cube of x. So not just x, but x cubed. So you have to think of that. But the direct variation comes from that model. So it's going to be y equals k. And I try not to make my k look like an x, but sometimes it looks like an x, times x cubed. Now, it's important that we understand this is multiplication here, k times x cubed, okay? So that's what that sentence is talking about. The quantity y varies directly, so k times something, with a cube of x. And so this is the cube of x, and so that's what it's varying directly. Now, in the next section, they're going to give us enough information so we can find k. So if they tell you the variables y and x, then you can figure out what k is. And that's what we've been working on. So it says if y is 25 when x is 2. So I know y is 25 and x is 2. And so then that becomes an equation that we can solve. So we're going to solve that. 25 equals, it's going to be 8k. 2 cubed is 8. And then we'll just divide by 8. And I'll get k equals 25 over 8. Now, we can leave that a fraction, or we can change it to a decimal. A lot of times they will change it to a decimal. Let's see what it is as a decimal. Sometimes they leave it as a fraction. So you get 3.125. So I'm going to use that for my k. A lot of these problems we're going to put in a calculator, and sometimes it's just easier to have the decimal. So what that means is they gave us a situation. They said when y is 25, x is 2. That's enough information to figure out what k is. Now we have like a formula. We can say y equals, I'm going to use 3.125 x cubed. Now if you tell me what x is, I can figure out what y is, or if you tell me what y is, I can figure out what x is. And then that's what they want us to do. So they give us this information to find k. Find k, that constant of proportionality. So we did that, and now we have this new and improved formula without the k. We know what k is, and now they're asking us a question. Find y when x is 6. So they're telling us x, and we're going to find y. So y is going to equal 3.125 6 times 6 cubed. Now that cubed is part of the formula, right? Okay, so you have to follow the order of operations. You'll have to cube the 6 first. So 3.125, I'm thinking it's 216, but I'm going to double check that. You can put the whole thing in a calculator. 6 cubed. Yeah, 216 times the 3.125, and I get 675. So y equals 600, oops, that's not a 6, 675. Now we don't have any units on this, so we don't know really what we're measuring. It could be inches or cups of lemonade or whatever. They didn't give us any information about the actual going on of the problem, but we're able to solve for y, and that's what they asked us to do.